Reynolds with Rocky Mountain Lodge, and I'm so excited to have you join me today. I'm going to be showing you how to make one of our family's favorite appetizers that we make every holiday. We make Brie on Croute. I'm sure you've seen them in grocery stores, and they can be a little pricey and they're really good, but I want you to know that you can make this yourself because it's really easy and only takes a few minutes to put together. You can find this recipe at our website at rockymountainlodge.com. You can also get it in our cookbook, Rocky Mountain Lodge and Cabin's More Favorite Recipes. This cookbook has 500 recipes in it, and right now it's half price on our website. So go ahead and go rockymountainlodge.com and click on the gift shop tab and you can get the cookbook, and click on the recipes tab and you can find the recipe for this Brie on Croute. So a couple of things that I'll tell you is the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. We want to get some puff pastry sheets, not shells. We want the sheets. You get 2 sheets in a box, and we're going to need both of these. And so you want to thaw them according to the directions on the back of the box, which I have them thawed and ready to go here. And then we're going to need 1 wheel of Brie cheese. You can get a 15 to 16 ounce wheel, or this is an 8-ounce wheel. Today I'm just making a small one. And then you're going to need 1 egg that you've mixed here together, that's beaten. And then you're just going to have some condiments. Today we're going to have some crackers and apples and pears, and we'll show you about that when it's all done. And then you're going to want a filling for your Brie. You don't have to have a filling. You can just use your Brie all by itself, plain. I have here a pecan praline sauce that I have made. You can kind of see what that looks like in there. This is so good. I could just eat this by the spoonfuls. And it's also really good to warm up, pour over ice cream. It's excellent. And so this is a pecan praline sauce that I made. You can make this ahead of time and keep it in your refrigerator, actually for even up to a couple of months. So you can make this ahead of time, and so I have some of that left over. Or you can do a chutney, any kind of chutney you like. I also have a recipe for a pear and cranberry chutney, which is great on this. And this pecan praline sauce, both of those recipes, the chutney and my praline sauce, are on my recipes page, so you can find those recipes there as well. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how easy this is. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a piece of parchment paper and put that down, and I have this one sheet of, I have both of these thawed here. I just kind of wrapped them in some plastic wrap ahead of time so they wouldn't get all dried out. Now the trick is to unwrap that plastic wrap and get that out of there. Okay, so we've got that plastic wrap off of there. And then we're just going to open this up onto our parchment paper here and unwrap it. It should come out unwrapped pretty easily. If it doesn't come out easily, just follow the directions on the back of the box and it'll tell you how you can thaw it in the microwave very quickly. And so I just roll this out just a little bit to get rid of the seams. I'm not really making it any small, any bigger. I'm just trying to flatten out those seams. Okay. So now with this one, we're going to cut this out into an 8-inch circle. And I happen to have an 8-inch round cutter here that I've got. And I use this all the time. If you don't have an 8-inch cutter, you can just measure it with a ruler. All right, so I'm going to just cut this out. And just go all around the edge. Now these edges, we're going to save those because we're going to use them to decorate the top of our Brie. Just to make it really pretty and festive. You don't have to do that. It's just something that I do. So I'm going to set this aside. I do not know what this little black speck is that keeps getting on there. It just keeps magnating to that. Okay, so I'll set this aside. Then I'm going to take our Brie wheel of cheese right here. Just open it up. And we're just going to take this out. And we're just going to set this right on to the center of this pastry dough right here. Get that out of the way. And now we are going to take this and we are going to, well, let me wait on that a second. Let's get our second one ready. So I told you that we cut this one to an 8-inch square or 8-inch circle. Now we're going to get another one. And we are going to make this one just a little bit smaller. This one's going to be 7 inches. This will be our top. So we don't need this one quite so big. Boy, some of the stuff really sticks, and then sometimes when you really want it to stick, it just doesn't stick. Don't we all have a love-hate relationship with this stuff? Okay. So again, we're just going to open up our second sheet here of our dough. And we're just going to roll it just a little bit just to get those seams flattened. Don't need to do it very much. Okay, and then we're going to take this again, and all I'm going to do is set this on here, and we said we wanted this one to be about 7 inches. So if you can come in here, Annie, my granddaughter Annabelle, who just turned 14 2 days ago, is filming today for me, and so we're just going to go in about 1/2 inch. This does not have to be perfect. You just want it to be about 7 inches. Since this is an 8-inch cookie cutter, we're just going to go about 1/2 inch. And as you can see, I'm not perfect with my cutting, and you don't have to be. This is just going to go on the top, and it's just going to get baked. All right, and so again, we're just going to set this aside. We're going to use that here in a little bit. So we're going to swap these two. Come back here, and I'm going to take this, and we're going to take some of our topping here. This pecan praline sauce that I could just eat all by myself with a spoon, but that would not be a really wise thing to do. And just be pretty generous with that. This is all going to melt and be ooey gooey. I have a picture, I have 2 pictures on the recipe page of this. The first picture is of the brie when it's done, and if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a picture of this one all melted. So now this, we're just going to bring the edges up, and we're just going to kind of pinch it a little bit so that it can come up and over. We want to bring this up and over a little bit and just kind of overlap it. It doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's all going to be covered up anyways. So we just want to bring this up and over. Okay, and then just make sure that's nice and all these little seams are pinched together. Now we're going to take our egg wash. We just have an egg that we have beaten. And we're just going to brush the edges here a little bit because we want to make this kind of like a glue that the top layer will stick to. And then I'm going to also brush around the edges so that the top layer will stick to this. And you can use any kind of filling in here that you want, or have no filling. Just experiment, play around with that, and find out what you like. All right, and now we're just going to take our top one that we've cut out over here, and we're going to set this just right on top of there, and we're just going to fold this over and pinch those edges closed all the way around. Pinch all of these edges. We want to pinch that closed, make a nice seal so that our brie and our topping don't melt, don't come out as they melt. All right, so now you can leave it just like this if you want and put this on your baking sheet. All right, so you can put it on your baking sheet here when you're going to go cook it. And now, I mentioned we were going to do something fancy here. What I'm going to do first here is I'm going to take some more egg wash, and we're just going to paint the top of this and the sides. So you can get your craftiness on here, your little artisticness on. I'll show you what we're going to do here to make this fancy. You do not have to be talented to make this look fancy, but everybody will think you're just the belle of the ball. The hostess with the mostest. So now we're just going to take our extra dough here, and I'm just going to cut a few little leaves out of this. It does not matter what size they are, how pretty they are. And I'm just going to kind of make little leaf stems here. So they look like little leaves, and I'm going to make 3 of these. I'm going to set them on the brie just like that. Pretty easy to make it fancy, and you don't have to be an artist or very talented. Just make a few little lines so they look like leaves. Put that on there. We're just going to do 3 of these. And I'll do another one here. You can get really creative if you want, make super fancy designs. This is about as creative as I've ever gotten. We always have a ton of appetizers when it's holiday time. It's actually kind of an eating fest all day long. We start with breakfast, and then we have appetizers, and then we have dinner, and then we have dessert. Now for these, I'm just going to take just a little strip of dough and grab just a little pinch off, and I'm just going to roll it into a little ball. Roll it into a little ball. Come on, become a ball. There we go. And I'm going to set that. Actually, let's brush this with a little bit of egg wash so that we're making little holly berries here. So we've got some leaves. We're going to put a few little holly berries on there. And it'll be super pretty when it comes out. Here's our second one. We're going to do 3 of these little guys. All right. So now we've got 3 little berries on there. We'll brush them with a little bit of our egg wash too. All right, now you can either bake this right now. You would bake it at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's nice and golden on top. Or you can take this and you can put it in the refrigerator for a few days ahead of time. You can put it in the freezer and it becomes a really great, easy bake-ahead dessert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually save this one. So I'm going to take it off of this parchment here and just put it into here. And so I'm just going to put it on a round parchment. Make sure it's still nice and tight. And so I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and make this one in a couple days because I just made one. So I'll make this weekend. I'm hosting a cookie exchange on Sunday. I'll probably serve this on Sunday along with the sweet cookies. Okay, so I'm just going to close this and put this up in the refrigerator. Or you can bake it right away. And I usually, when I make it for Christmas, I usually make this a few days ahead of time and put it in the fridge. Or any holidays. Put it in the fridge and then I just pull it out about when I want to bake it. Okay, so when you're done baking it, it should come out like this. Your puff pastry is nice and flaky. And then you've got your little decorations here. It's kind of lopsided, but all right. So then we're just going to put this in the middle of our serving platter. Let me get a spatula here to grab that. So we're just going to grab this and we're going to put it on our serving platter. And then we've got our crackers. I just have a couple kind of crackers. I like artisan crackers. I just don't have any right now. But my favorite thing to go with these are fresh fruit. I really like apples and pears. And so you can just slice up some apples and pears and put them on here. That's my favorite way to serve this. So just slice them up and then we'll get some pears on here. I cut these right before the video, so they're starting to oxidize and get a little brown, but they're still going to taste delicious. And then I get to take this next door to my grandkids and they will just love it. Actually, it's probably better if I turn these upright. That's probably a little bit better presentation-wise. Upright. There we go. Sort of, kind. Something like that. Anyways, and so now I'm going to eat that pear. Okay. Wash my hands. And I'll show you what it's like once we cut into it. So I'll move some of these aside a little bit. And we're going to cut into this. You've got that really flaky crust from the puff pastry. I'll just cut out a little chunk. And you can see what it's going to look like. Come on now. Let's see. Okay, so our brie is melted. You can see the little sauce on top just kind of oozing out here. Can you get this here, Annabelle? Can you see all that? How good that looks? And then we're just going to take this, put a little bit of this ooey good gooey cheese, this melted cheese with some of this sauce onto our fruit. And then you get to eat it. Just love, shouldn't talk with food in my mouth. I just love that ooey gooey melted brie cheese. with the fresh fruit and the crackers. So good. So here is our Brie en croute. You can see how it is pretty easy to make there. All right, and so what you're going to do then is eat it. Okay, and so next week, come on back next week, which is going to be Thursday, December, let's see, look at my calendar, the 16th, and we are going to make a Yule log. I'll teach you how to make a Yule log perfectly festive for your holidays. And so come on back next week and we'll make some chocolate cake. A delicious Yule cake. It'll look like a log. Everybody will be so impressed. But only you will know the secret to how easy it really is. So thanks for joining me today, everybody. Make sure to like this video, share this video, comment on it. Any questions you might have, put in there. Any future recipes you want me to make, go ahead and put that in the comment section. And don't forget to visit our website, RockyMountainLodge.com, where you can find all of these recipes and our cookbook, Rocky Mountain Lodge and Cabins, More Favorite Recipes, which you can get for $10. 500 recipes for $10. All right, so I'll see you next week, everybody. Bye.